Yo, what's up? My name's Patrouski, and I went undercover on the PokeMMO forums, and I wanted to ask people, what do you think are the best PvP team cores right now? Now, a lot of these answers are given from players with hundreds or even thousands of hours into PvP. This is actual, liquid information gold. Let's go ahead and jump into it, see what I asked, see what the great responses are. This is a great way to understand how to get into PvP, how to build your teams, take these cores and expand upon them, and actually learn how to play some fantastic PokeMMO PvP. Let's go ahead and jump into it. My initial post was, hey guys, PvP was changing rapidly for a while, but now that it's settling slightly, what do you guys think are the best team cores in the game right now for each tier? Team core being a group of 2 to 5 Pokemon containing lots of synergy that usually bring competitive success. Share your knowledge and thank you for your time. I first want to say thank you, and I appreciate everybody who posted on this. There's tons of awesome information. Imperial comes in saying, not necessarily the best, but I thought I'd share some common cores which newer players can build around for each tier, include some hazard setters and removers. What a perfect opening. Obviously, there will be some weaknesses, but that's where the remaining slots will hopefully be utilized. Perfect starting answer and starting summarization. All right, for NU, he gives us Piloswine / Steelix alongside Slowbro and or Slowking, and then alongside Golbat. So a good example of this would be something like Steelix, Slowbro, Golbat. Any of those variations can exist, such as Piloswine, Slowking, Golbat, etc. But I love this core that he gave. All of these Pokemon are incredible. Golbat is such a good defensive walling Pokemon in PokeMMO NU tier at the moment. Having Roost, Eviolite, it is shocking how tanky this Pokemon is. Piloswine is great, can set up Stealth Rocks. Steelix is great, can set up Stealth Rocks. Both Piloswine and Steelix act as fantastic defensive walls or tanky Pokemon. Slowbro and Slowking can both be very defensive. Golbat can be tanky either way, whether especially defensive or physically defensive, whichever you really want to build it. It's very versatile in that aspect. Golbat can pack Roost. There's a lot of versatility in these three Pokemon, and they cover each other's weaknesses beautifully. So you see things like Golbat being weak to Psychic. If you have that issue, switch into Slowbro, tanks it perfectly, or Steelix, tanks it perfectly. You see something like Steelix or Piloswine being weak to something like Earthquake or Earth Power, switching Golbat, bam, there you go, perfect. Golbat also weak to T-Bolt, Thunderbolt, something like that. Bam, switch over to Steelix, Piloswine, your ground types. That 3 core is perfect, and that's what cores are supposed to do. Cover each other's weaknesses perfectly. Great core right there. Moving on. UU, Empoleon, Salamence, Shaman, and then / Dusclops plus Umbreon. So this is Empoleon, Salamence, and then you're either going Shaman or Dusclops plus Umbreon. Shaman, Salamence, Empoleon just sounds fantastic. Those 3 are incredible right now. I know they're super good. Any dragon type alongside a grass type or alongside a water type is usually really good, or stuff like that. Having a dragon type with a ice resistance is always super nice, right? So doing something like Salamence, who is 4 times weak to ice, being able to switch over to Empoleon to cover that is really powerful. All right, now continuing on. OU, Gliscor, also Empoleon's weak. Sorry, I gotta quickly mention this. Empoleon's weak to Earthquake. Salamence can avoid it with its flying. Simple stuff like that, right? All right, over to OU. Gliscor, Amoonguss, Rotom Wash, and Chansey. You can also include Skarmory somewhere. That is super true. This is a very tanky. These are great defensive cores as well. What I like about defensive cores, he's giving a lot of great defensive core options. Defensive cores are good to get from powerful players and good players, because then you can go choose the offensive Pokemon, which is kind of the fun part. So you can kind of get the boring defensive stuff out of the way and then go pick, your Houndooms, or go pick your Garchomps or your Conkeldurrs or whatever fun offensive Pokemon you want to run. You can go pick that after. It's really cool to have that boring kind of defensive part done for you. Rotom Wash is a fantastic Pokemon. All of these OU Pokemon have crazy synergies. You guys can see them. I'm going to move on. All right, anyways, I don't want to spend too long just on that one guy's post, but that one post was incredible, so I really do appreciate that. And then GB Weed, one of the legendary names around the Pokemon community, has been around for a very long time. He's going to give us a balance / stall team core. Thank you for that one, GB. Amoonguss plus Gliscor, Amoonguss plus Gliscor plus Water type, aka Rotom Wash. That was mentioned earlier, which is really cool as well. Seeing the same good players giving the same saying good advice. There's a reason that advice is good. Amoonguss plus Gliscor plus Water type plus Dark type. He gives examples. Sableye, T-Tar, Hydreigon, and Weavile. It's really interesting. I love when OU players, in GB we talked about this, Sableye gets mentioned a lot in OU. And because it's a very, very niche Pokemon, but it can work in OU. Sableye, I believe, is in NU at the moment. But it's a Pokemon with no weaknesses, and it has Prankster, and it can do a lot of things. It can Prankster recover and end up being tankier than it actually is. Sableye's base bulk is actually pretty poor, base stat wise, but due to its typing, giving it no weakness without Fairy type in the game, it's very good. Being able to have priority on moves like Will-O-Wisp, on moves like, I believe it gets T-Wave, I could be wrong. Will-O-Wisp for sure, on moves like Recovery, it can be a pain. Sableye can be a huge, huge pain to deal with. He goes on to say things like Amoonguss. Okay, yeah, so Steel plus Steel type, so he brings up Starmie, Bronzong, and Empoleon. I don't see Empoleon talked about. Like, I'm learning a lot from this. I don't see Empoleon talked about that much in, like, OU, like it is being mentioned here, which is really cool. And then we see some hyper offense suggestions. Starmie plus Dragonite, Starmie plus Dragonite plus Steel type, aka Scizor or Lucario. Starmie plus Dragonite is fantastic. Obviously, once again, a Dragon type weakness paired with an Ice resistance. Starmie resisting Ice. Perfect pairing. Anything that is going to be able to hit Starmie for super effective, you can switch over to Dragonite. For example, if they go for the Thunderbolt, you can switch over to Dragonite. It'll at least hit Dragonite for neutral. If they go for the Grass type attack into your Starmie, you can go over to Dragonite, 4 times resist, easy peasy. Tanks those contrary Leaf Storms. We got to be careful if the Superior is not specs or anything. If it's Life Orb, you got to be careful with the Hidden Power Ice, I guess. That's like the one. I guess Superior probably breaks that combo, but that's why you have that Steel type core. So it gives the other one, the Steel type, Scizor, Lucario. That's great into the Superior matchup. So there you go. Bam. Fixed that issue. Rain, Pelipper. I love Rain suggestions. I think going Rain is a fantastic suggestion and a fantastic build for beginner players. If you want to get into OU PvP, Pelipper, he's going to, before even reading his messages, my recommendation would be Pelipper plus probably maybe Magnezone. Pelipper plus Magnezone, maybe Scizor, or maybe switch out one of those. Okay, Pelipper, Scizor, Kingdra. That's the 3. I'd rock with those 3. I think I will start with that as a really, really basic Rain core. Pelipper plus Ferrothorn or Scizor, a 4 times fire type weakness in the Rain team. That's why it's so good, because it weakens the fire type attacks. And then plus Kingdra. Kingdra is just so good in Rain, in my opinion. I think going, this might be a bad advice. We'll see what he says. I like going Choice Spec Kingdra. I think Choice Spec Kingdra Hydro Pumps in Rain are just so hard to tank for literally any Pokemon in the entire game that it gets absurd. It just does so much damage that I think it is worth the locking in. I like Choice Specs, but I don't know what the actual metagame is looking for at the moment. Anyways, Pelipper plus Steel type, Scizor, Ferrothorn, Explosion, plus Ground type. Yeah, Ground type is good to think about. Having that Volt switch into is super, super important. Plus Special Attacker, Kingdra, or Gold Duck. It's interesting, the Gold Duck suggestion was what I did not expect. Plus Kabutops, plus D-Knight, plus Toxicroak, plus Ludicolo. I love Ludicolo in Rain teams as well. Super powerful Pokemon, can really be really tough to deal with and answer. Stall core suggestion, Weezing / Chansey. That's super simple. Chansey's a special defense wall. Weezing's a defense wall. Bam. There you go. That easy. Trick Room. Reuniclus, Bronzong, Conkeldurr. Love me some Trick Room. Love that suggestion. Super great, simple, strong core. All right, people continue to talk about stuff. More sort of suggestions. Chow comes in and wants to respond to GBWeed talking about the hyper offense and says you can use Volcarona on both as well. Magnezone can be on a team and trap your steel. I really like Magnezone as well. I think having Magnezone on most teams is really good. I think Magnezone's super underrated. Being able to trap Scizor. I also just hate Scizor, so maybe I love Magnezone too much because it can trap Scizor, and that's a huge thing that I hate, right? Scizor makes your opponent less likely to attempt to trade Scizor because once trapped, Volca earns a free turn to set up after Magnezone kills your Steel type. On the first case, you can try to trade Dragonites if you had a Volca. Most likely there's something you can stop at Volca after. Yeah, I think Volcarona can be really strong on a hyper offense cores, obviously, because they can only handle so many threats, and Volcarona is one of those Pokemon that after one Quiver Dance, it's so scary. It's so scary after just one setup attack. Now, if you're interested in doubles, doubles is a very, very niche format, very specific, and there's not that many experts on it, but I really appreciate this guy, Rock, coming in, dropping his doubles guide. If you want guides, these are available on the forums. This forum post is linked in the description down below if you want that, so definitely go check that out. He dropped some doubles teamwork guides, which is awesome. Super appreciate that. And then even Edwardino, one of the moderators, weighed in with his opinion from his knob point of view, a little bit of a noobish point of view. Hey, I'm probably much more noobish than you, Edwardino. Don't worry. The stall has become the most profitable environment. I like the offensive game, so compensate for the above. My favorite cores are OU Starmie Dragonite. That's already mentioned, so he's on the right track. It makes sense. He sounds perfect. Machamp and Rotom. It's cool to see Machamp mentioned in UU. NU, Nidoqueen with hidden ability, and Houndoom. I like this core a lot. I will say both of these are pretty weak to Earthquakes. You have to add something else, obviously, to factor that in or to be able to deal with that. But I think this is a great core. I really like Nidoqueen and Houndoom. I think those are really great Pokemon. Nidoqueen is such a unique Pokemon. One of the only Pokemon to be able to absorb Toxic Spikes, set up Toxic Spikes itself, and then also set up Stealth Rock. Nidoqueen is, I think, one of the only Pokemon, if not the only Pokemon in the entire game to be able to do that. Houndoom is pretty cool. You can go mix, you can go Sucker Punch on Houndoom. Obviously, it usually goes special attacking, but Sucker Punch is super nice. It's a huge reason why people go hasty on it. For double battles, he drops us a double battle suggestion as well, being Mamoswine and Reuniclus, which is super cool to see. Not that much offering of information for double battles, which is really cool. Someone, I believe, offers another double session down here, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, that comes to the end of that forum post for today. Now, if you want to read through this at your own pace, or read through this in different ways, go check it out. There's tons of information in this forum post. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully it offered you something. Hopefully it gave you a core that you can use, or maybe it gave you an idea that you can kind of take one Pokemon and switch in a different one and use a different, you create your own sort of team, create your own sort of core. But Pokemon cores are such a good way to get into PvP and such a good way to learn. This is literally fantastic, like gold information that they were willing to provide us. And I really appreciate everybody taking the time to drop this information. It really does help out a ton. Like even players like myself, where I feel like I play a lot of the game. I love the game. I know a lot about the game. I do not always know the latest metagame cores. That's a very precise, very difficult question. Unless I'm practicing, unless I'm like very involved in the scene, there's a really good chance I'm kind of behind on the loop, So I really appreciate these guys catching me up. Anyways, if you guys liked this video, make sure to leave a like on it. Subscribe to the channel for daily PokeMMO content. Check out the Twitch for streams Monday through Thursday at 12 p.m. ET. Discord link is down below if you're interested in that. Updates on all my content, as well as if you want to go above and beyond and support my channel. YouTube memberships, Twitch Primes, Twitch subs, and PayPal/Venmo help out a ton. Allow me to stay full time, trying to make the best Pokemon content every day. I'll see you guys later. Peace. Have a good one, and good luck in PvP.